You're welcome to this week's edition of the Magnate. Today we shall be focusing on the traditional institution. Yes, they are the first, the best custodian of culture in our environment. You know, the Magnate is all about parading personalities, mentors that can lend a voice to the various professions. Today, how well has the culture, the tradition fed in our environment, the extent that we are able to practice our various cultural heritage. We have a revered traditional ruler, the first great one. Who are we talking about? Let's give you the citation of our Magnate for the week. When we come back, it will be an honor to have an interactive session with him. We'll be back shortly.
His Royal Majesty Alayeluwa Oba Dr. Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo, CFR Okekuna IV, Alake and paramount ruler of Egbaland, was born to the family of Omoba Adesanya Osholake Gbadebo and Madam Amoke Gbadebo on the 14th of September 1943 into the Laarun ruling family of Egbaland, Abeokuta, Ogun State. He is the grandson of the 6th Alake of Egbaland and nephew to the 8th Alake, Oba Samuel Adesina Gbadebo II. He was raised with a silver spoon relative to his contemporaries. He attended Baptist Boys High School in Abeokuta and Ibadan Grammar School, then went to University of Ibadan in 1965, obtaining a Bachelor of Arts degree in 1969. Oba Dr. Adedotun joined the army in 1969 and attended the Command and Staff College, Jaji, Kaduna State, from September 1978 to August 1979. He eventually became a principal staff officer to Major General Tunde Idiagbon, the then Chief of Staff at the Supreme Headquarters, Dondo Barracks, from January 1984 to September 1985. He disengaged from the military as a colonel after 16 years of meritorious service and went into private business practice. He had a series of awards as military personnel, including the Force Services Star and the Defense Services Medal. After he retired from the military and ever before the royal responsibilities, Oba Dr. Gbadebo had strong goal in business. He was at the board of notable organizations including Ocean and Oil Limited, Global Oil Resources Limited, Dolphin Travels. At the demise of the 9th Alake of Egbaland, Oba Oyebade Likpede, on February 3, 2005, there was a lacuna in the Egba Royal Office. This must be effectively and efficiently filled with immediacy and alacrity. This did not happen until 6 months of thorough search for the real person that should be crowned. At last, the thoroughly bred ex-military colonel Oba Dr. Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo was elected as the 10th Alake of Egbaland on the 2nd of August 2005. Through a keenly contested selection process among 9 contenders, he scored 15 out of 23 votes in the election conducted by the Egba Kingsmakers. Since His Royal Majesty Oba Dr. Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo has remained the 10th Alake and paramount ruler of Egbaland, Ogun State, Nigeria.
Welcome back. The program is the Magnate, and it's a great pleasure to be in the royal palace of the Alake of Egbaland. And it's a great pleasure to welcome to the Magnate His Royal Majesty Oba Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo, the Alake of Egbaland. You're welcome to the Magnate.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us, sir. Now, let's look at the role of traditional institutions to the custodian of culture and the practice of our cultural heritage to the extent that it guides our practice in the society, in the environment. What would you say the traditional institutions, the role of traditional institutions has added to the society, sir?
I know that the traditional institution has been part and parcel of the society. When the white man came, he found that we already were well organized. We had our various aspects of governance. And we had judiciary, we had legislative, and we had, the executive, which has been the Oba himself. We had the military, the Ologuns, the Ogbonis. They were surprised at the level of our development. So over the years, because you said power must go to the people, so the Obas ceased being the sole authority, and they started having mixture of elected and appointed members of council. Okay. Eventually, it became fully elected, and that's where we are today. Okay. But how far have we fared? over the years. I will tell you that we took loans 3 times to build the first electricity in this country before Lagos. We paid back the loan. We took loan to provide water, pipe-borne water. We paid back the loan. We took another loan for Third Road. We paid back the loan.
Okay.
We proved that we had the greatest economists among the Egbas, the first to taste civilization, the first to work with the white man. We didn't have to fight. We signed a treaty of friendship in 1893. And thereafter, we managed ourselves until one soldier, a very good soldier but a bad administrator called Lord Lugard, came, and 8 months after he had the amalgamation of Nigeria, he now added Egbaland. He annulled a treaty signed by 2 countries, which was in itself very illegal. But we have had to live with it till now.
Even when you talk about journalism that we practice, the first media practice
1859.
was from here.
Abeokuta.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes, that's laying credence to the importance. Okay, now let's look at it from the point of view of leadership. You know, lately we see a lot of corporate bodies going for leadership training and all that. Do you think the traditional institution is provide the best template for acquiring leadership qualities among those who wish to become leaders?
Well, training to be leaders is not limited to anywhere. We have, in the army, for instance, greatest emphasis relates to leadership, because you must be able to, your followers must have confidence in you. They must believe that you can think for them, you can do everything for them. And when they have confidence in you, they are loyal to you, and you too are loyal to them. So the military is number one when it comes to training in leadership. But at every level, we must train people to think less of themselves and more for the common good. This is where the emphasis has to be laid. Even for our political leaders today, they must fight for the people who have put them there, not for themselves. It's a pity, yes, that the common good is being played down at the expense of the individual benefit.
Interesting, sir. You know, we talked about custodian of culture. Lately, we are witnessing the extinction of our local language. And because you are foremost custodian of culture, what is the solution? How can we further propagate our spoken language in terms of indigenous language, sir?
Well, I don't think our local language is suffering.
Okay.
What is happening is that you are coming across so many other cultures, and your culture must survive if your culture is sound and solid. If you have certain values that your people put ahead of money. For instance, in Yoruba culture, money is number 6. We have integrity, we have, omoluabi. We have various areas where we must show that we are better than others. Money is the 6th of all the things we place one after the other.
Interesting. Okay, you alluded earlier on to the military leadership. With your military background, how do you think that has prepared you well enough to have ascended this throne and then rule again on so many people with diverse backgrounds?
Well, the military, as I said earlier, trains you for leadership position. And there's no king of England that has not gone through military training, because they know that you'll be a better king if you have had military training. You would rule better, you would think better, you would, be able to empathize with your people. You bring yourself to their level. You don't think that you are superior, because after all, what do you have that others don't have? It is only the grace of God that has put you where you are.
Interesting.
Yes.
You also talked earlier on about our culture and then your leadership qualities. How do you think, what has worked for you that we have relative peace and tranquility in your domain that others can tap from?
Well, I would put that first, that God himself is the one that has put peace in Egbaland. It's one place where there had never been any tribal problems. In Egbaland, people have worked in prisons, in various areas of federal establishments, and who retired and built their houses and remain here in Abeokuta. There are so many of them because we are the first to see civilization. We are the first to come in contact with we sing a song here that when it comes to style, we're number one. When it comes to education, we are number one. When it comes to culture, we are number one. And we want to remain so. That is why anybody that behaves less than the way it should behave, we get shocked and we say, you are not behaving like your fathers before you.
Well done, sir. Congratulations. We alluded to our cultural ministry and agricultural practice used to be part of our practice and part of our African, culture.
Yes.
Have we really been able to really practice it to the extent that we can put adequate food on our table?
Well, with regards to agric, we have been paying lip service to agric for so many years. This is the first time that government has faced agric for fully. And we thank God that today, as we are coming up, more of what we export in agric is getting to the highest ever. And more of what we import in agric is getting lesser. But as of today, what we export is still less than what we import. But we pray that as we have become a net exporter of rice, that will go into so many other areas, and Nigeria will be a better country than it had ever been.
Okay. This is the Magnate, and we are privileged, revered, that we have in our midst as our Magnate for the week, His Royal Majesty, Oba Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo, lending a voice to the growth of our culture, our traditions, and what have you. Let's go for a short break. When we come back, we'll round off the conversation. You're welcome back. The program is still the Magnate. I'm grinning. I'm excited because I have with us, lending a voice to the growth of our culture and traditional norms today. He is His Royal Majesty, Oba Dr. Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo, the Alake of Egbaland and the paramount ruler of Egbaland. You are welcome back to the program, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the insights you have given to the program so far. I was still talking about, we are still keeping on agric now. Do you think we have really, really promoted our local food enough? Earlier on, you talked about export and imports. A lot of people tend to prefer the exported products. What do you think we can do to our local food to make it really good enough, both for sufficiency and then for exports?
Well, our local food, you'll be surprised that people, once they have a taste of it, they want to come back to it. We have a number of restaurants, particularly in London, where the moment a foreigner tastes of our food, he wants to come back. Name it, even ordinary akara that you line with some corned beef and what have you, and a day, the taste is fantastic.
Even ojojo from what I am.
Ojojo, which many people have never heard of. The old people, Sabak Anthony of blessed memory, used to have a plate full of ojojo with fried fish. And for dinner, he would demolish the whole big plate because it does not hurt you. It rather is good for your system, very light for the evening. Our food, ewedu is medicinal. You take ewedu with whatever, be it eba, amala, lafu, anything, and you take extra ewedu, you feel better for it. Bure, oboro in particular, the one without egusi, is excellent. taken with a call in the evening, you will dream dreams. You know, our food is only charity, they say, must begin at home. We are not promoting our food enough. Rather, we go to Chinese restaurant. They have nothing that we don't already have. Take moi moi, for instance. Those who have never eaten our food before, the moment you give them moi moi to eat, they will always ask for it. So please, let us promote what is ours. Nobody's going to do it for us. It is our own duty.
Okay. But do you think the research institutes are doing enough? Because, like the water yam I said, there are lots of derivatives that can come out from all these food products. What's your counsel for all these research institutions? I know for now it's in your domain, you know.
FIRO did a lot for our food items in the past. I think they're getting too tired. They should wake up. Because we had, you know, cassava in our bread, and people did not, even up to 10%, they didn't know the difference. You know, there are so many areas of research that is open to them. They produce the bottled palm wine that will last and last and last. They have done so many things. They have used sorghum for beer. I think they are resting on their oars. They should wake up and make our products, you know, sellable all over the world by using it to substitute imported products. Agric is our mainstay, it's the mainstay of our economy. And until we promote it, we would always have unemployment. We will have so many people complaining. So please, back to the land.
Back to land. In fact, that you took it from me. Do you think that can be a panacea to youth restiveness in the society?
Yes. We have had governments that give land to young men as a challenge. They paid them salaries for a number of months, gave them fingerlings to start their, you know, fisheries. And when they thought they should be exporting, they should be making money, they should be harvesting, they stopped the salary.
Wow.
And these people today are great farmers. You must identify those who are very eager to make names for themselves, promote them, and when you think they are ready to go, put them on free run, and they will perform.
Okay.
They will do very well.
Okay. We know that you are also a good promoter of education, quality education. That's how come about, you know, your foundation, right from, you know, catching them young to primary and all that. Do you want to lend a voice to how parents can really give their wards and children quality education, lending to your foundation, sir?
Yes, thank you very much. We have had a great accountant in this country, late Chief Mrs. Kufuri Jolubi. She mentioned how her mother used to sell her healthcare to pay her school fees, for her to go to read BSc Economics, to read accountancy, and become the first Nigerian, you know, chartered accountant, and so on and so forth. That the money the mother spent at that time, she was able to pay back so many times over. And that's what I tell parents. No matter the suffering that goes with educating your children, you will come back to get the benefit so many times over. Yes. Education is the greatest legacy you can give any child. It's the greatest inheritance you can give your child. Please do not hesitate to ensure that you give the very best education to your children. Let them grow up to copy you. A friend of mine says everybody will be a carbon copy of his father. Yes, what kind of a father are you? Are you an incorruptible father? Are you a father with integrity? A father that a child can copy, and you'll be proud of that child. So that's a challenge to parents to live above board, to allow their children to copy them. If you are a smoker and a drunkard, and then if you are smoking cigarettes and your children are smoking Indian hemp, can you correct them? You cannot. because they will go beyond what you are doing. So you have to do something that is right, so that they will do even better than you along the same line.
All right, sir, do you think with the economic situation, parents are getting too busy to focus on this, their primary assignments?
Well, no matter how busy you may be, when you fail to give your children the right education at the right time, it will be too late. There are things that you don't leave till tomorrow. Education is one of them. A child, there's preschool learning readiness, they call it in education. People are ready. They want a child that you beg to go to school today. After begging that child a few times, when the child begins to make friends in that school and is enjoying all the poems they are memorizing and things, that child will be the first to say, Mommy, I want to go to school. Even on a Saturday, we'll wake you up and say, are we not going to school today? You are the one to say, no, today is Saturday. No school. So we must get our children to be ready for school, to know the value of education, and to be ready to go for it. Give them every encouragement that they need, and you will never regret it.
Yeah. Finally, sir, we really appreciate what you have said to us. But you see, some people will say that it's somebody who is full, whose stomach is full, that will listen to all this. What's your counsel to virtually everybody in the country, in the society? There is hope at the end of the tunnel. There may be hardship now, but when they hear some counsel and advice from you, there will be keep hope alive.
Thank you. When we talk about hardship, we should not fail to hear what happens in other countries. When we hear about even blackout in our country, some other countries where there used to be light all the time, they are in blackout now. I will not mention names. There is a country where they said Nigeria is going to be unable to pay its debts. Some developed countries, their prime ministers or presidents had to resign because they too have debt burden that was becoming too much for them. It's not peculiar to us. We will weather what is happening to us. It is part of what is happening in the whole world as at today. So we would survive it. Let us be determined to pull through. When somebody says $1 is 600 and something naira, but with 200 naira, we know people can eat and eat well, as at today in this country. I'm not saying you should go to a Chinese restaurant or a five-star hotel and say you want to spend 200 naira. But we know that we are still able to manage with the little we have. Let us not give up hope. A better tomorrow is coming. And only those who endeavor to pass through what we are going through will be able to enjoy a better tomorrow.
Sir, thank you so much for this opportunity. Yes, it's been the Magnate. We've been chatting with His Royal Majesty, Oba Adedotun Aremu Gbadebo. I forgot to put the word doctor, the paramount ruler, and the Alake of Egbaland. He has told you the beautiful things that happen in this domain. You can also take a cue if you are in any leadership position. That has been the program today. The Magnate it has been. Join us same time next week when we shall bring you another personality, another Magnate who will be lending a voice and mentoring us on television. Until then, continue to follow us on our social media handles. And then, of course, a later edition of this program will be on our YouTube channel. Till then, bye for now.